Good morning, sir.
Exactly, I have to share.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Abhijit. Okay, so let's start where we left off on Tuesday. So this local scope, so local job shops, manpower scheduling we need to do. And it has been given that it is in actually cycle one after another. So what we can model this problem as one cycle, start from summer to spring or spring to summer, whatever you want to look at it. So the question I asked last time, that since the spring requirement is the highest, what should be the spring requirement? What should be the employment level in spring? See, dynamic programming we need to discuss, otherwise I will just write the solution and you won't follow it. Can spring employment level be 220 or 230? Okay, read the question once again. Read the question once again. Okay, so if you read this line, first thing is employment will not be permitted to fall below these levels. So based on that, and further, any employment above these levels is wasted at an approximate cost of $2,000 per person per season. Now I'm asking, if I'm trying to understand employment level, assuming that we are looking at one cycle of 4 seasons. Last time we stopped at whether summer should be a start 1 or spring should be 1. Now, if you look at any season, because it is in cycle, so there's no point saying that I'm looking at the first summer or the last spring. We are in continuation. The employment levels have been maintained over the years, and we are trying to solve it using a dynamic programming. What should be the best in policy, or how he should, design his policy for workforce. So a simple question I'm asking, what should be the employment level in spring?
To maintain ideally at 255.
Okay. So at employment level of spring should be more than 255?
More than or equal to.
So can you say employment level of spring should be 255, because that is my peak, right? That is my peak season requirement. So let's say spring it is 255. Summer, I will fire some. Requirement is 220. So summer can be between 220 and 255. Is this correct?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, autumn can be between 240 and 255. Winter can be between 200 and 255. Why am I so interested in fixing the employment level of spring? What do you think? If I fix the spring level employment, I just need to find summer, autumn, and winter level employment. Do you agree? So if I fix the employment level, that is for my peak season, I do not want my employment level to go above 255. So to do that, I will take spring as my n equals to 4, and in between we will have autumn and winter. So these are my stages: summer, autumn, winter, spring. And here I have defined xn as in number of employees at stage n. By this, I can fix x4 equals to 255. So now the problem will reduce to finding the employment level in summer, autumn, and winter. More importantly, if I keep spring the last stage, the backward recursion, it will be helpful in backward recursion. Does that make sense to you? If I keep spring as my last season, I already know the employment level. Like earlier cases also, we already know what my destination is. So this is why we should keep stage 4 as spring, and we can also fix x4, the decision variable for stage 4 equals to 255. So the problem turns out to be finding x1, x2, and x3. So it could be 255 is my spring. Then in summer, I will fire some people. I will fire some people such that it is greater than equal to 220. In autumn, I have to maintain that it is greater than equal to 240. In winter, I have to maintain that it is greater than equal to 200. So 220 to 240, 240 to 200. Again, spring will come. I have to take it back to 255. Is this clear?
Yes, sir. So does that mean that if we set the employment level in winter as 200 and do the backward approach, then there is a chance that for spring it might be more than or less than 255.
Yes, there is chances, right?
Correct,
If
sir.
I'm setting my minimum like 200 here, if you look at winter, winter is your season has a 200 employee, right? So
Yes,
you
sir.
have set some standard on the minimum, but not on the maximum. Here, requirement itself is giving me minimum. So I need an upper limit. So I chose, why not choose the peak season? Are you following?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that helps me in, see, given you being that manager and you know that any employment above 255 will be wastage for me and it is not helpful also. If I keep more than 255 in spring, it is not going to help me in summer, autumn or winter. But if I'm keeping a high employment out, instead of winter being equals to 200, if I'm keeping 240 for some reason, I just have to hire 15 people. So 15 into 200 into 15 square will be the cost for hiring 15 new people. That's why we are interested in, choosing. Is it clear, guys? Because this is an important step.
Yes,
What my stages are and how I know the last stage, what last state. Because if until unless I know the last state, it would be difficult. You have seen all the problems. Like in stagecoach problem, we know the last stage is California. In the distribution of effort problem, you know the remaining remaining teams in the last stage is 0. So similarly here, suppose you are suggesting let's keep winter as in my last season. So winter to winter it will run, right? Now if I keep my minimum as 200 and then start adding, it will be difficult to figure out how much to add every time. Spring might go above 255. Having said that, now we will formulate this problem. So we have already defined Xn as our employment level, X4 being fixed. Now define one more parameter, not variable actually, which is already given to you, minimum level of employment. So what would R1 will become equal to? 220. This is a parameter, not a variable or anything. This is just to represent in the problem. Okay. Now, what would be the cost of stage N? What could be the cost of stage N? Yes, guys. Given these parameters, can you tell me the cost of stage N? I hope you can see the cost parameters written in the question.
The 200 times square of the differences in employment levels.
So 200 into Xn minus Xn minus 1 whole square. Is this correct?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
So first thing is that. Anything else?
Plus
Plus 2000.
2000 into Xn minus
Rn.
Rn.
Right? Where now we can put a upper limit and lower limit on Xn. What is that? Rn and 255. Do you agree? So in any season, Xn cannot exceed 255 and minimum it should be at its requirement level. Suppose R1, then 220, R2, then 240, and so on. Good so far? Now, what could be my states here? How many states are there possible? This is actually a very interesting example. How many states are possible here? So let's look at summer. How many states are possible?
So RN to up to 255, all the numbers are the states.
Very good. So how many states are there? Infinite. Reason I'm telling infinite because we have also this line, fractional levels of employment are also possible. Make sense? Is this correct, guys?
Yes, sir.
Because we have fractional levels of employees, Rn to 255, every point on the axis is actually a state. So this is a kind of problem where we have infinite state, but generally for number we say that it is a countably infinite, that we can count somehow. So let's try to understand our states. Although it is infinite, but we need to understand what it is, right? So n equals to 1, that
Sir,
is your,
hello.
yes, yes,
Sir,
please.
how fractional level of employment is possible? It's not clear to me, sir.
We have said how it is possible. Read that line. A few part-time employees. So suppose a person works 8 hours a day, permanent employee, and if I'm using a part-time labor, I'm using it for just 2 hours, someday 3 hours. So it becomes 2.2, 2.3, something like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Understood, sir. I missed that.
So that's how it is saying that it can be used fractional labor.
Yes. Sir.
N equals to 3, N equals to 4, summer, autumn, winter, spring. Excuse me. So suppose there are some states. I'm just drawing it for, explaining purpose. We cannot really draw such diagram. So suppose I'm in this state. So let's say it is S1 and I move to this state in stage 2. What exactly is changing? And I took a decision X1. Then I took a decision X2. Right. So based on this, can I define my Sn equals to what? Better to understand from not from S1 but S2. Okay, let me try to explain it with S2. Then I will come to S1. Suppose this is my state S2. Okay. I will take a decision here that will take me to S3. Is this correct? So S2 is my state in stage 2. Then I made a decision X2 that took me to the start of the stage, to the state in the start of stage 3. So that decision I took is about X2. So when I reach here, what would be the employment label? If I can put it in terms of employment label. Okay, let me rephrase it. So I'm working summer, autumn, winter. In summer, let's say I had some employees and then we took a decision X1, we reached to autumn. So when I'm at autumn, I have to make some decision about winter. So I have to take some decision about winter. That is, I have to decide about X2. That will take me to the state 3. So every time state as stage n is nothing but your employment level in previous season. Look at it and see if it makes sense. More precisely, suppose summer. Sorry. Let me to explain. Spring, summer, autumn. Okay, think it like this. So at the start of summer season, what is the information I have? At the start of summer season, what is the information I have at hand regarding my employment level?
Immediately we have 250 people at this moment.
Okay, so what we know, what employment level in my last season, that is the information I have. Clearly?
Yes.
So my state at the start of summer is nothing but what was my employment level in the last season. Does that make sense? Think of it as a company or a job shop. So I'm about to start my next season. So on 31st March, let's say, the information I have about summer is the state the summer is in is whatever employment level I have on 31st March regarding April 1st. Now I take a decision to, let's say, hire or fire whatever number of people here. So in the start of autumn, I know this information only, how many employment level I have in the last season. Does that make sense?
Sir, is it not key in the start of the summer also we have already taken the decision to add some employees or to remove some employees?
So generally the way we define stage and state, how do we define? That the decision you take, okay, so decision for summer you are taking in summer, not in spring. Maybe, see, when you are hiring and firing, definitely, but when you are solving for optimal policy, decision for summer is taking in summer or in spring. If I take that in spring, that will change the state of the spring itself. Is it making sense?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All of you. So with that, we can say my Sn is equal to Xn minus 1. Make sense? State in any season is equal to what was the last season employment level. That is the state. That is the known thing you have at any stage. So if I say that, we can say S1 equals to X0, which is equals to what? X4 255, because these are nothing but representing your spring, right? They are representing x0. I'm defining x0 because we are using n minus 1. N minus 1 is nothing but if n equals to 1, that is my first season, summer. Preceding season was spring. So Sn equals to xn minus 1. Clear so far? So I can draw a table like this. This is not necessary, but this will help you in visualize how things are. पंखा चला रहा था धीरे से दो या तीन
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Yes.
Sir, is it not ki XN are the decision employees, means like it is not the total employees of the spring season, no, sir? It is how many you added or removed?
No, it says employment level, right? Number of employees in stage N.
Okay. Yes.
Because you are doing, if you look at the cost person, what you are doing, xn minus xn minus 1, no? So it is not about addition or whether you have hired or you have fired. It is about what is your total employment level at the end of the summer. What is your total employment level at the end of the autumn? Okay.
So then will it not be equal to that particular stage? No.
So if I means, let's say start of the summer. Okay, start of the summer, I have a state, right? S1, let's say. This is nothing but the employment level you have right now. And after that, you make a decision to increase or decrease, which takes you to the next level. So just a second. So you are saying S1 equals to X1? Is this the case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you are saying state of season 1 is equals to your whatever decision you have taken.
Yes, sir.
So state 1, I have taken a decision X1 that will take me to the stage 2, right? So
Yes.
what will you say about S2 then?
Sir, because X1 is the number of employee level at the start of next
No,
season.
X1 is not at the start. S1 is the start of the stage. X1 is the decision, immediate decision you took for that stage. And that will take you to the state to the next stage. So the decision which you take here takes you to the next stage.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Now it's clear, sir.
If you are making S1 equals to X1, then you have already said S1 equals to X1. It is not going to take you to S2, right?
So, yes.
So let me repeat again. I have written this also about the stages and states. Let me see if it is there so that I can refresh you guys about that point.
So it is like that at the start of any season, we are having the number of employees, which will be equal to the number of employees available in the previous season. And now at the start of this season, we are taking a decision to basically for the present season, which will lead us to the next season.
I mean, ideally, yes. So I think we both are saying it so that it is cluttered up. So let me try to put it very simply again. Let me try. Deepak, thank you. You have added that. So just think of that summer is starting. Okay. Summer is about to start. If summer is about to start, all I know how many people, let's think of 31st March is end of spring and 1st April is start of summer. So at April 1st, although this is more of a planning thing, so I will do it on pen paper for the whole year. It is not that I'm doing it on April 1st decision, but think of it as it is a planning thing. So at the start of summer on April 1st, I know what is my employment level in the spring. Does that make sense? Now, I know I have 250 employees. I know the requirement for someone is 220. It was 220, na? Yes. Now I need to make a decision at this stage that whether I will keep all the 255 or I will fire some people. Okay, so in fact, that is also if you are firing someone, so he will be fired on as per the what do you call season. He will be fired for summer, not for the spring. So starting April 1st, he does not work on that job. So now in summer, I have taken, so spring, I have taken a decision that this many employees will be there. That took me to the summer. Now summer, I will take that I need to maintain my employment level at 250, not 255, but 220 or 230. Now when I'm starting autumn, all I know is in summer, I have 230 employee with me. Now I have to make a decision whether to hire and fire. Again, when I made a decision, that will influence my, what is the next season? Autumn, winter. So next season, winter, whatever decision I took for, autumn will take me to the winter season state. That at the start of winter season, I know these many employees I have, now I have to make a decision. So that's why what we are saying that your state 1 or Sn equals to Xn minus 1 because that is the let me fill this table. This will give you insight. So these are my states 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so RN employment level I know 220. This is the minimum 200 and 255. We have already set X4 equals to 255. What is the feasible value for X1? What is the feasible value for X1 for stage 1? What is the maximum it can have?
220 to 255.
Right. Thank you. Similarly, X2 is 240 to 255 and X3 is 200 to 255. Is this correct? These are the possible values of Xn. It can lie anywhere between these two in the each stage. Now, coming to Sn, which I'm saying is Xn minus 1. What is S1 equals to?
X0.
X0, which is 255. So start of season 1, I know I have 255 employees. Now I have to make a decision based on the cost, whether I will hire or fire. So can you tell me the cost expression 200 into? Does this make sense? So start of season 1, I know I have 255 employees. That is my state. Now based on the cost equation, I will try to see what X1 will be optimal for me or will give me the minimum cost. Does that make sense now? Okay, what is the value of S2 for season 2? What is the value of S2 for season 2?
X1
Yes. Abhijit, are you trying to say something I cannot hear?
So, so it will be X1 plus some action that we are going to take.
See if this makes sense. I have, as you said rightly, I have just replaced it here. Similarly, I will move this one. So 240 S3 less than equal to 255 and X4 I already know equals to 255. Sorry, not X4. X4 I have already, S4 I have to write. S4 is less than equal to 200 to 255. Does this make sense for the various values of? So what I'm doing, I'm putting for S2 because S2 equals to X1, so the range for X1. S3 is equal to X2, so range for X2. Or other way to see it is, no matter what you do in season 1, you have to keep minimum requirement, that is 220 and maximum is 255. So S2 should be between those two. Okay. Similarly, I can write the cost equations as 200 into x2 minus x1 whole square plus 2000 x2 minus 240 200 into x3 minus x2 whole square plus 2000 into x3 minus 200. Finally 200 into 255 minus x3 whole square. See if the cost equation is making sense. Excuse me. Look at all the cost equations. Good so far, guys? So now I can write my recursive relation Fn. So far I have written in terms of Xn and Rn. Now I can convert it also in Sn. So 200 into Xn minus Sn whole square plus 2000 into Xn minus Rn plus F star n plus 1 Xn. So this is my cost of immediate decision and this is optimal future decision, where F star Sn can be written as minimum of Rn less than equal to Xn less than equal to 255, 200 Xn minus Sn whole square plus 2000 Xn minus Rn plus F star n plus 1 Xn. It will become more clear. Let's start with n equals to 4. So let's say if I do n equals to 4 table, S4, F4 star, S4 and X4 star. Okay, so what is S4? For stage 4, what is S4? That should be equals to your S3. So it is between 200 and 255. So 200 is less than equal to S4, less than equal to 255. F4 star, you have already written all these things here. You just need to put it here. 255 minus S4 whole square equals to 255. See if it makes sense. You are ideally trying to minimize this guy. At what number it will be minimized? You are trying to minimize, right? Between
255. That will be 255.
So that's why I have written 255. So what do you understand with this? If X4 star is 255, I mean, ideally you don't have to, you already know X4 star is 255, but even from the cost equations you have written, it has to be 255 so that it becomes 0. Make sense? Any questions, guys?
Those are understood.
Great. Now let's go to n equals to 3. So what is my F3 star? S3 is minimize just a second. $200 into x3 minus s3 whole square plus 2000 x3 minus 200 plus f4 star s4. See if this makes sense. I will put it, I will change the orientation so that you can see the table. So I'm trying to find F3 star S3 now. See if it looks fine. So X2 is replaced by S3 here. So X3 minus S3 whole square. And then you proceed with the, what is this F4 star S4 equals to? What is this F4 star S4? All the
0.
future contribution?
0, sir.
Why it should be 0, Moingi?
So we are taking optimum at 255, no, sir?
But it has an expression to itself, right? There is a cost expression for it.
Yes, sir.
So when you are trying to solve it, it should appear, it cannot be 0 there. You will try to solve because you are backward recursively solving. So you will solve, and then finally you will say that yes, this is the cost I will be getting. So how do we solve this problem, guys? 200 x3 minus s3 whole square, 2000 x3 minus 200 plus 200, 255 minus s4. So
instead of S4, can we write X3?
yes. So put S4 as X3. So it will be an expression on X3. Okay. And we'll assume S3 is known and we'll try to find X3 in terms of S3. Does that make sense? So replace S4 by X3 and try to find the value of X3 in the terms of S3. So del F by del X3, if you do, you will get 400 X3 minus S3 plus 2000 minus 400, 255 minus X3 equals to 0. If you rearrange that term, you will get X3 star equals to S3 plus 250 by 2. Okay. Good so far? How do we confirm that X3 star is satisfying the constraints we have? We have not used the constraints. What is the constraint here? We have limit on S3 and X3, right? Okay, let's see. What is the value S3 can take, guys? What are the ranges of values S3 can take? 240.
240 to 255.
So let's look at the extreme. If I put S3 equals to 240, how much we are getting? If I put S3 equals to 255, what am I getting? Use the extreme values and tell me what are the possible range of X3 star.
245 and 252.5.
245 and 240.
252.5.
252.5. What is the range of X3 we already know?
Between 200 and 255.
So this is satisfying this one?
Yes, sir.
I mean, ideally, when you have written this expression now, you could have used KKT condition by bringing X3 ranges and X3 ranges into it. But what we have done, we have solved it and showed that X3 star is falling in between the ranges it has been provided. Otherwise, a KKT condition lagana hota, we should have brought X3 also into the picture. Make sense? Just to avoid that, we could also show that it will be desired minimum because it is satisfying the constraints. Now we need to put everywhere we have x3, s3 plus 250 by 2. So the expression we will get for n equals to 3 is s3, f3 star s3 and x3 star. So 240 is less than equal to S3 is less than equal to 255. You have to rearrange the terms, you will get that. Okay, so this will be your n equals to 3. Why I'm keeping everything in terms of S3 and all that? Any reason? So if you proceed in this manner, what do you think? What will happen n equals to 2? It will be in terms of what? The this was F3 now, and this is X3 star. So you will see X4 star, it was because it is known. X3 star I have found in terms of S3. What would be in the case of X2 star?
S2,
X1 star?
S1.
X1 star, S1, not necessarily. We'll find an optimal value of X1 star.
There will be a value constant.
It will be a value. Once I know X1 star, I know my S2.
Yes,
So
sir.
I know my X2 star. When I know my X2 star, I know my S3.
And then X3 star.
So I will get my X3 star. So this is how this problem will flow. थोड़ा सा complicated है, मतलब not complicated, it is more time consuming. I want you to try n equals to 2. Same procedure. You have to look at this table, what you want to minimize. So now when you use F3 star S3, this is the expression you need to use for F star n plus 1. So all this will be your future contribution, and then state 2 immediate contribution. Give it a try, and if you could find the solution, you should get X1 star equals to 247.5. Try to see if you can achieve this solution. I will briefly discuss it on the Monday next week, and then we will wrap up the semester on Monday, because your class test will be starting from 7th. I've already sent an email that your class test will be on Tuesday, I guess. Tuesday I have sent, no? As per the slots given. So your class test will be on 12th of February. Keep that in mind. Okay. Any questions? So I want you to proceed, try for n equals to 2, try for n equals to 1, and then first try find x1 star, then you go for x2 and s2 and so on.
सर ये थोड़ा नहीं ज्यादा ही कॉम्प्लेक्स हो गया.
What can I do? It's easier to teach on board actually these problems, because you can see two things together. Here थोड़ा सा complicated हो जाता है. It is not that complicated actually, Ajit, if you see. If you have understood this part, it is just simply calculations. Right? Not very difficult calculation, just del f by del x equals to 0 and you have to find the values. I'm not even asking you to go into KKT and all that. We just divide the ranges into 2, because at n equals to 2 you will get some interesting result. I will also discuss it in the next class. There will be what do you call, 2 ranges, and you will get solution for 2 different ranges. So give it a try and we'll see. Okay. Any other
Test is on
questions?
12th April.
Yeah.
The test is on 12th April.
Test is on?
Sir, means the date of the test you said.
I cannot hear you properly, Santu. Can somebody tell me if you are able to hear him? Hello?
Hello, sir. Sir, can
Yes.
you hear me now?
There is some
actually, I was-
static, otherwise it is fine.
Sir, I wanted to know means the date of the test and the time also.
I will not tell you. Have you checked the general messages post you check, Santanu?
Sir, in the email I will see that. Sir, actually I did not see like lately.
Does everybody else knows the date? Is it? Have you guys checked it on Teams? I have already posted a message, right?
Yes sir.